everyone, I just got back from my walk and I believe I have inserted the clips of it, just like a few snippets, and now I'm heating up my lunch, which I can show you even though you cannot properly see, but it's fish. And yeah, once I eat lunch I will get back to the work and we'll see what comes next. I am sucker generator, so we will see what will I respond to. While I was walking, I sensed smell of pizza and I was like, I would like to have pizza for dinner, but we will see what my roommate says. So yeah, that's it for now. See you.
I'll keep above water. Maybe you'll carry me. Maybe you'll carry me. This changed, but people keep it all for the better. And you'll never be. I'm off. You're barely keeping up when you started. Maybe it's all for me. Maybe it's all for me.
And it has like this. Yep. Okay, hi everyone and welcome to the talking part of this video. I will be sharing on some books I have been reading recently and that I really enjoyed. So let me get to that. Okay, so I have two books here. So one of them is from Stephen Levine, sure. It's called Unattended Sorrow. I actually accidentally end up swiping through Kindle and there was recommendations and I saw Stephen Levine books and I downloaded the free sample of the books and I really liked the sample and I decided to get the book. Basically in the sample he was saying how we should in a way start preparing for that. He worked with a lot of people that were dying from terminal illness and assisting them through the process. So that's why he was speaking about it. But basically, he suggests that we should all start being more mindful and grateful each day in a way that we appreciate the present moment with the awareness that we will one day cease to exist and we won't have this physical experience. He's trying to not like create fear, but create awareness that you could wake up tomorrow and be paralyzed. So it's important to truly enjoy your physical form and what you are able to enjoy depending on your circumstances. Maybe you're right now you're sick or not in the great shape, or I don't know what's going on, but yeah, that little part really made me think. I think my Kindle is not here, but maybe I can insert that passage of text because it really spoke to me. Anyway, so I decided to get this book, Unattended Sorrow. Basically, we all, throughout our life, we all experience loss, whether it's people or certain opportunities or a loss of meaning in our lives. We lose different things. It's not just about necessarily losing people to death. It can be even losing some important person in your life, even though it's not you dead, it's through like breakup of the relationship or connection. And it all can leave us with a lot of grief, because I personally wasn't thinking that I would be having so much grief inside me because I haven't, I don't know, lost someone really close to me recently, but a lot of sadness accumulates over time and a lot of grief, and if you don't release it and if you don't work with it, it just creates more and more layers of sadness and grief, and it can then turn into actual physical issues, which leads me to this book, When the Body Says No. Gabor Mate is Hungarian psychologist, doctor. I'm not sure what is his title. I'm actually MD here. Anyway, in his work he did a lot of research, and there are a lot of studies, experiments on people who went through different sorts of trauma, and because of that developed various forms of illness. And so he's basically speaking how stress, how we process emotions, how our lifestyles are, how we identify ourselves with certain things or don't identify, can influence our health. And he made such amazing work on that, and you have a lot of videos on YouTube from his speeches, so if you are not sure where to buy a book, you can definitely check his YouTube video. And yeah, I can actually read you some parts I liked, just a short part, so it's not too long, but let me see. Yeah, I put this sticky notes so I can actually find the parts. There are a lot of good things. So for example, I try to help people all the time, said Ed, with prostate cancer, and if not, I feel bad about it, guilty. And for many people, guilt is a signal that they have chosen to do something for themselves. I advise most people with serious medical condition that there is probably something out of balance if they do not feel guilty. They are still putting their own needs, emotions, interests last, and the power of negative thinking could permit people to welcome their guilt rather than shun it. Basically, the power of negative thinking is not like thinking negative thoughts, it's about not being like optimistic on stuff. You shouldn't be optimistic, it's like being real. In a way, like, okay, this person is really hurting me. That's like power of negative thinking, being very discerning about that. So he calls this power of negative thinking because there's a lot of emphasis on positive thinking in like psychology and spiritual communities, but we have to also take in the account the negative thoughts, and not like ruminating and obsessive, but realistic negative thoughts. So yeah, I think that's important. And also he then proceeds to explain the difference between guilt and resentment. It's always better to feel guilty than resentful. In most cases, you will always have to discern and learn things for yourself, but his explanation on emotions can be extremely helpful. Yeah, he says here, negative thinking allows us to gaze unflinchingly on our own behalf at what does not work. And also he says anger, or the healthy experience of it, is one of 7 A's of healing. Each of 7 A's addresses one of embedded visceral beliefs that predispose to illness. Undermine healing. We look at them in the final chapter. Yes, he speaks on anger and how there's difference between healthy expression of anger and suppression, like rage and anger. Like rage is when we are full of anger, but we are not releasing it, and you can know whether you're releasing it or not by accessing to your muscles and tension in your body. If you're full of tension, if you're like gripping, then you're full of rage. And if you have released your anger, you will know, because you feel soft again, because you've released that tension, that energy charge. So that's how you know. So there is a lot of good insights on that. And also, I actually spoke about this in my very first video about attachment, authenticity, video is titled Authenticity and Healing and Tarot or something, and Divination. I spoke about the importance of understanding attachment and authenticity, because if you are not living for yourself as your own true sovereign authority, then you're most likely living for somebody else, even if you're not fully aware, which then creates a lot of issues. You are not able to find true fulfillment and right relationships and right career path for you, which doesn't have to look in typical way, you just have to be right for you. So that is something I wanted to bring up. So he says here, most of our tensions and frustrations stem from compulsive needs to act the role of someone we are not. I think that it's a great statement, and it shows the importance of authenticity. It goes beyond like, I'm just original person, individual. It goes by stating and honoring your needs, wants, desires, and honoring self as an individual. It's form of self-respect. It's not just being like creative individual. It's about honoring yourself, your needs, and what you actually need and want, and accessing that, and having boundaries, what is not for you, for you, and what is, and saying yes to what is for you. You know how you have to say no to many things until you get to your yes. And that takes courage and actually trust and faith. So yes, that's something I wanted to reflect on. I've been kind of postponing this part of the video because I haven't been low on the energy lately, but I wanted to share about these 2 books because they have been amazing and very, very helpful to me. Like I said, so Stephen Levine or Levine, so this is the book. I can also read you paragraphs so you get the idea. Here you go. In acute grief, our difficulty finishing business with a departed loved one, as painful as it can be, may create repeated images of previous loss. The loss of my mother, for instance, can cause us to recall in some detail other losses in the family. The grief of unacknowledged, seemingly irrational, but nonetheless painful feelings of abandonment, anger, fear, and even unrecompensed love may persist in resonance between one loss and all loss. So when you're grieving one thing, you're sad about one thing, you can end up being sad of many different things, and that is how it usually works. That's why the more we tend to our sadness, to our grief, the freer we become. And it's not just about fully releasing, it's about integrating. You can maybe still have parts of self that are in grief, and maybe they will be for years, but it's not something that takes away your energy once it's integrated. I think this is one helpful explanation. I just realized as I said it, difference between release and integration. So when you release, means you fully remove that energy from your energy field, but sometimes that is not possible. So that's why we speak of integration. It means integrating energy in a way in which it won't deplete you or affect you negatively or deconstruct your positive momentum. Let's say you are really thriving in your career, relationships, and then this griefs appears or unresolved anger, and you feel like everything's starts falling apart because of that. And it doesn't have to happen in that way. You can have those thriving aspects of self and still honor these parts and integrate them. So I hope this makes sense, even though I'm just aware that people should be stop using it. I hope this makes sense. It's just when I'm explaining something and I'm not sure if I'm presenting it right, so I'm always saying that. But anyway, yeah, so integration is important because it's all those bad experiences are a part of you, but they're not affecting you in a bad way. They're like interwoven fabric into your life experience, but it doesn't diminish your worth, it doesn't impact you in a bad way. It's just experience you had, and you can learn to live with that, and it doesn't have to affect you. So yeah, I think that's the purpose of integration. So I wanted to speak on that, yeah. But I think I will leave you here for now, and this will be an end of this video, and then I hope to expand on some of these topics in some future videos, and if you have any questions, feel free to let me know. Okay, see you.